Ohio gozaimasu, minasan. Good morning, everyone. I hope all is well. I want to thank you for joining this important event. And also, of course, thank to Jun Kamo, who's done an incredible job of bringing together these events, but also this community of chief digital, data, analytics, and now, of course, chief AI officers as well, not just in Japan, but throughout Asia. Kamo-san and I discussed what would be possibly the best topic to cover today. Given that there is a new administration coming into the White House in January, we thought it would be great to discuss AI policy in the United States and the differences between the Biden-Harris administration and the incoming Donald J. Trump administration in January. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right to it. Just want to remind you that you can see this full presentation. I've created a blog post for this. If you just go to cdoclub.com, scroll down, click on the very first agenda, very first blog post, and you'll see Trump's AI agenda and Kamo-san's event and the 10 bullet points that I would like to discuss today. If you've got some time, you can also scroll around. For example, click on any of the square ads to the right, and you'll see, for example, recaps of, for example, the third Chief AI Officer Summit that we recently did in Washington, D.C. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it now. Again, my name is David Mathison, founder and CEO of the CDO Club. I'm going to be very brief about these because you can dig into the details later. You could go to the blog post and see it in detail. And again, I only have 5 minutes, so I'm going to go through it really quickly. Number one, on November 26th, right after the Thanksgiving holiday, normally a slow news day, I think it was a Friday, Axios reported that Trump administration is considering hiring an AI czar. I'm not a fan of the term czar. Really, I prefer chief AI officer, but it certainly is a bold and more of a centralized approach than the decentralized approach that he has taken with the other, in comparison to the Biden administration, which had an executive order that mandated that chief AI officers need to be hired across agencies. Number two, executive orders. We're going to see some pivotal policy shifts in AI regulations. Next, we're going to look at some of those regulations, and then the power and energy required to deliver this AI-driven future, most importantly at the data centers, the sustainability issues regarding not only electricity and power, but also water to cool these systems. The final 5 items would be chips. Obviously, it's the foundation of AI innovation and U.S. competitiveness. Quantum is the next frontier. We want to cover that as well. And then we do want to cover open source. I know Elon Musk is a big fan of open source AI. It could be used to democratize innovation, but it also could compromise security. So we want to look at the balancing act we need to play there. And then, of course, national security competitiveness, trying to win the global AI race. Competitors like China and their relationship vis-a-vis Japan will come into play. And having said that, of course, what is the impact on U.S. allies and strengthening collaboration with Japan? So again, I've only got 5 minutes. I've probably covered 4 of those. So I'm going to go really quickly. We talked about the AI czar. The downside of this could be that unlike the agency-specific chief AI officers, this would serve as a sort of centralized approach and a federal coordinator streamlining regulations and strategy across government. Notably, this position doesn't require Senate confirmation, so that will allow this person to get in quickly, but the appointee might not have to go through the usual processes of checks and balances. So again, we're looking at some top-down governance, and the big downside here could be that they could potentially consolidate or replace some of those existing chief AI officers that we just had appointed and that we had at the Chief AI Officer Summit in October. Number two, we're going to see a lot more deregulation, focus less of if the Biden-Harris executive order focused more on safety, ethics, privacy, and integrating AI responsibly while addressing societal harms like bias and information and job displacement. I believe that the Trump administration feels that this approach has stifled innovation and its regulatory overreach. So we're probably, while the details of that remains unclear, we're probably going to see a less regulated environment. So again, same point here. Biden's priorities were safety, transparency, and accountability. It looks like Trump will pursue more deregulated, innovation-driven approach, arguing that fewer restrictions will allow American companies to compete more effectively, particularly against China, and in particular in the arms race and in the military and armed services it will allow us to innovate more freely and quickly. We talked about power and energy. It's going to require significant ramp up. This does have issues with the environment and sustainability goals. That will be an issue. Data centers, as I mentioned before, take a lot of electricity, while AI requires massive computational power. There are also cooling systems that will require a tremendous amount of water and electricity which could potentially strain water supplies and exacerbate some environmental challenges. Number 6, chips. Obviously, the CHIPS Act was enacted to incentivize domestic chip production. It's played a pivotal role in bolstering U.S. semiconductor manufacturing and reducing reliance on foreign supply chains, particularly those tied to China. So we're going to see more of that. Quantum is critical as well. I'm not going to touch on this too much since we're limited on time. Open source, tremendous amount of pros. Obviously, open source is a cornerstone of technological progress in that it allows unparalleled access to tools and frameworks so that people can innovate across industries. But there are a lot of cons, such as security risks, cyber attacks, economic challenges, ethical concerns, and loss of control. Number 9, the penultimate bullet is the United States. AI isn't just a technological tool, but it's a strategic asset that underpins defense, cybersecurity, and global leadership. I believe the Trump administration is going to prioritize national security and try to reinforce America's position in the AI race. So this obviously China's massive investments in AI R&D, it's positioned itself as America's chief competitor. And of course, we want to make sure that whatever we're doing, that the United States translates these efforts into strategic investments in research, talent development, and of course with allies. And that brings me to our final point, which is the impact and especially strengthening collaboration with Japan. We do see the United States sees Japan and other G7 nations as vital to countering adversaries and establishing global AI norms. Donald Trump's deregulatory approach to AI may create some opportunities for collaboration, but also could complicate some joint efforts due to ethical and safety standards. Japan has a very active role in international AI safety discussions. They were at the most recent US summit, which contrasts again with Trump's potential shift away from these frameworks. Both nations share strategic interests in countering China's technological advancements, particularly in semiconductors and supply chain resilience. And AI provides a platform for US-Japan partnerships in areas like cybersecurity, autonomous systems, and quantum computing, which aligns with our democratic values. A united US-Japan strategy for AI is crucial for maintaining global competitiveness and shaping the future of AI in a way that reflects shared democratic principles. So having said all that, again, I'd like to thank you all for joining us in this program today. I hope that you enjoy it and that Kamo-san has many more in the future. And I look forward to collaborating with Jun-san and with all of you in the development and deployment of AI to enhance national security, but at the same time to be done in a responsible, ethical, and trustworthy way. So thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the program today. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or to Kamo-san. Thanks again and enjoy the program.